Hello, this is Temisha with Educational Tutoring Centers with a couple problems that have been requested by my subscribers. One requested more problems with fractions, and the other requested more arithmetic reasoning questions. All right, so I hope these problems will help you to do your very best on your ASVAB exam. This first one says, what is the value of 1/4 plus 1/3 plus 1/8, all divided by 1/2? Now, the way I would like to approach this one is to first find a common denominator for the fractions that are listed in the numerator of this problem. So to do that, I'm going to write down the numbers and skip count. Now, yes, you can do these in your head. Yes, you can just think about multiples of each of these numbers and see which is the first that you would come to. Or you can write them out if you need to visualize them. I would suggest that you do that during your practice time, but when you're actually taking the test and time is of the essence, as much as possible, do it from memory. Okay. So if I were to skip count for 3, I would have 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, and I could go on for all eternity. So I'll just choose a stopping place. I can go to the other numbers, do the multiples for those, and then when I find the very first number that matches for all three, then I'm finished. Okay? But the quicker approach that I would like to take is to start with the largest number. And then with each of the numbers that I write, each of the factors that I write, or the multiples, for the largest number, I will look to see if the other two actually can divide into them, or to see if it's a multiple of the other two. And if it is, then I can find my answer probably a lot quicker than I could by arbitrarily writing out numbers and stopping and going farther if I needed to. So let me jump down here to the 8, and I'll write the first multiple, and then I'll look at each of these other numbers. So I'll say 4. Can 4 divide into 8? And the answer is yes. So then I'll ask myself, does 3 divide into 8 evenly with nothing left over? The answer, of course, is no. So then I'll go on to my next multiple, which would be 16. And then I'll look at the 4. 4 divides into 16 4 times, so that works. Does 3 go into 16? No, 3 doesn't go into 16. So I'll go to my next number, which is 24. I'll look at 4. Does 4 go into 24? Yes, it does, 6 times. And then I ask myself, does 3 go into 24? Yes, it does, 8 times. And we do see that right here, and it's 8 times out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if I did the multiples for 4, I would find the same thing. Okay, so my least common denominator is 24. So I'm going to come here. Let me come over here, and I'll write out equivalent fractions for each of those with the denominator of 24, and this is how you would do it. So you would set them all equal to some unknown factor divided by 24. Okay. Now, I ask myself this question one of two ways. I can say 4 times what will give me 24, and I can say 4 times 6 gives me 24. So then I will multiply the numerator by 6, and then I will get 6 24ths. Okay. The other thing I could just say is how many times does, or I could say 24 divided by 3 is what? And it would be 8. So then I could say that's the number that I'm going to use to make my equivalent fractions. So either way you like to ask yourself the question, it will still do the same thing. So these are our 3 new fractions now, okay? So let me bring those over here, and I have 6 over 24 now. I have 8 over 24, and I have 3 over 24. Okay, and then I'm going to divide all of that by 1/2. Now, if I wanted to, I could change 1/2, also make it a fraction with 24 in the denominator. It might make for easy canceling when I do this later. But either way, I'll still come to the same answer. So now that our denominators are all the same here, I can just add the tops. So 6 and 8 is 14 plus 3 is 17. So that's 17 24ths. And it will now be divided by 1/2. Okay? So if you recall the rules for dividing fractions, you keep the first fraction the same. You change your division to multiplication. And then you take the inverse of your second fraction. So let's do that. So we have 17 over 24. I'm going to change my division to multiplication, and I'm going to take the inverse, or just simply flip the second fraction. Okay, so now if you see here, if I had to make this 12 over 24, then I would have had a 24 here that would have just simply canceled. But it's okay. 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 2 goes into 24 12 times. So now my answer is 17 twelfths. I can change that into a mixed number by dividing 12 into 17. It goes 1 time, and with the remainder of 5, so it's 1 and 5 twelfths. Okay, so that problem is complete. I hope it was clear and concise as you needed it to be. If you have any questions, please write it in the comment section. I am going to do a second video, so stay tuned for that. Thank you for watching.